Is Christine G, and I'm going to be going over how to calculate the standard deviation. So I looked up in the text, and in section 3.2, which is part of the homework for Module 1, they have this example. And I'm just going to make my example a bit more simple. So I just chose 3 test scores for, here are 3 different students. And then what I did here was I calculated the mean of these 3 test scores. And I do that, it's pretty easy to do. You add these 3 numbers up and then you divide by the number of numbers. So it would just be, and I can write it out, so 78 plus 92 plus 58, I'd add those up and divide by 3. And then I came up with the mean test score for these 3 students is 76. And this is called mu, so 76. And then here, the next thing you do, so now we have the mean, and we can go ahead and take the original test score, 78, and subtract the mean from it to figure out the deviation from the mean, or how far it is from the mean. And so that 78 minus 76, that's just 2. So it's just 2 points away from the mean. And then 92 minus 78, then that one is 16, and then 58 minus 76. Well, that gives us a negative 18. So that's all we did here. And then the squared deviation from the mean, what we're doing here is we're just taking this difference and squaring it. So 2 squared is 4, 16 squared is 256. Negative 18 times negative 18 is 324. So the negative times the negative is positive. So that shows here. So these numbers are all positive. When we square, they all become positive. And then here, the next thing we do is we add up these 3 numbers, and that total is 584. Now from there, so we have the sum of all these numbers, and we take that and we divide by how many number of test scores or data point, how many data points there are. And then we divide, so there are 3 here, and then I came up with 194.6 repeating, and I could round it to 0.67. I think that went off the screen a little bit. So then that is what we call our variance. And then the standard deviation, we just take this number. So this is the variance, and then the standard deviation, we just take the square root. So that's the variance, and standard deviation comes up to be the square root. So we can do that on a calculator. Just use that square root button and do the square root of 194.67. Try and round as little as possible, and then you come up with 13.92, and I just rounded it here, so it may be a little bit different. So, but that is how that works, and definitely the resource, your e-text, has some good information. They show these steps. So the population mean, they use this nomenclature with the population mean. This is called mu, and I don't know why the numbers aren't showing up here, but for some reason they're not. But it gives you all of the steps as well. The formula, this x sub I, just means that you'd take what the first, so in this case, that would just mean 78 minus mu, which is the mean. So it would just be 78 minus 76. That's what that means. And square it. So 78 minus 76 is 2, and then square it is 4. So I hope this makes sense, and please let me know if you have any further questions. I'm always happy to help. Thanks. Have a great day.